What if the very essence of humanity was born from the earth itself? In the ancient world of the Maya, nothing was more sacred than maize, the crop that sustained life. But how did this powerful connection between man and maize begin? The Popol Vuh tells of a time before humans, when the gods sought to create beings worthy of walking the earth. After several failed attempts, they finally crafted the first humans, molded not from clay or stone, but from the sacred dough of corn. These weren't mere figures, they were living, breathing creations, forever tied to the very earth that nourished them. Yet this creation was not without struggle. The gods had tried before, first with beings of mud, then of wood, but each attempt ended in failure, their creations crumbling or wandering aimlessly without purpose. The stakes were high. Would this final creation be different, or would the gods once again face disappointment, risking the balance of the world? As the gods worked with the sacred maize, shaping and molding, the question lingered: would these new beings survive, or would chaos reign? The answer lies within the ancient whispers of the Popol Vuh, a story woven through the cycles of life, death, and rebirth, one that would shape the destiny of the Maya forever. Long before the first humans set foot on the earth, the gods played a perilous game. From this divine struggle, two extraordinary figures emerged, Hunahpu and Xbalanque, the hero twins, born not just to exist, but to challenge the very gods themselves. Their father and uncle had once faced the gods in a similar contest, only to be betrayed and dragged into the depths of Xibalba, the shadowy underworld. Their tragic fate weighed heavily on the twins, but Hunahpu and Xbalanque were no ordinary players. They were different, sharper, bolder, driven by an unshakable purpose. Now it was their time. With fire in their hearts and vengeance in their veins, the twins descended into the dark realm of Xibalba, ready to confront the sinister lords who had claimed their family. But this wasn't just about avenging the past, it was about rewriting the future. Armed with their wits, skill, and the strength of brotherhood, they stepped into the deadly games of the gods. Every challenge they faced was a test, not just of their strength, but of their spirit. They weren't there to survive, they were there to win. In doing so, Hunahpu and Xbalanque would not only honor their father's memory, they would change the fate of the world itself. The underworld of Xibalba was a place of shadow and peril, a realm where danger lurked in every dark corner. Yet without hesitation, the hero twins, Hunahpu and Xbalanque, descended into its depths, driven by a single purpose: to confront the sinister lords who had wronged their family. Each step they took plunged them deeper into the heart of this treacherous world, where nothing was as it seemed. The air grew thick with tension as they faced a series of harrowing trials, each one more impossible than the last. The gods of Xibalba, cruel and cunning, devised every challenge to crush their spirit. Deadly ball games where even a single misstep could mean death, and chambers crawling with unspeakable creatures eager to ensnare the unwary. But the twins were not easily defeated. Quick of mind and bold of heart, they met every challenge head-on, outsmarting the gods at their own game. Time and again, they emerged victorious, their bond as brothers and their cleverness proving more powerful than the forces arrayed against them. Yet, with every success, the stakes rose higher, and they knew the road ahead was only growing darker. This journey was no mere test of bravery. It was a battle for something far greater. As they pressed on, the weight of their quest became clear. They were not only fighting to avenge their father, but also to restore balance to a world slipping into chaos. The gods of Xibalba were notorious for their deadly games, where a single misstep could cost a mortal everything. The hero twins, Hunahpu and Xbalanque, knew they were walking into a death trap, but they were not ordinary players. The gods expected brute strength, but the twins had something far more powerful: wit. As they stepped onto the court, the air was thick with tension, every movement carefully calculated. With each pass of the ball, they moved not with force, but with precision, outsmarting the gods who had set the rules. Every time the gods thought they had won, the twins twisted the game, using strategy and trickery to shift the balance. It wasn't just a ball game, it was a battle of wills. The gods, furious and humiliated, realized too late that they were being bested at their own game. But Xibalba's rulers were not about to accept defeat so easily. Behind their cold smiles, more challenges were brewing. darker and more treacherous than before. The twins may have claimed a victory, but they knew this was only the beginning. The gods of the underworld would stop at nothing to break them. As the next trial loomed, the question hung in the air. How long could Hunahpu and Xbalanque continue to outwit the very beings who commanded life and death itself? Deep in the heart of the underworld, the hero twins, Hunahpu and Xbalanque, stood at the threshold of the House of Knives. Blades lined the walls, spinning and slicing through the air, ready to tear apart anything that dared to move. This was no ordinary room. It was a death trap, a challenge set by the gods who believed that no one, especially not mere mortals, could escape its deadly grasp. But the gods had underestimated the twins. Hunahpu and Xbalanque weren't just mortals. They were clever, nimble, and unyielding. As the knives whirled around them, the brothers moved like shadows, silent, swift, and untouchable. Their every step was calculated, their every move precise. From the dark corners, the gods of Xibalba watched, their disbelief growing with every second. The twins had done it again. They had turned what seemed like certain death into another victory. But even as the brothers stood triumphant, they knew this was just one more step in a long and a treacherous path. The further they ventured into Xibalba, the more perilous the challenges became, each one designed to break their spirit, to end their quest. Yet, the twins pressed on. How much longer could they continue to outwit the gods, who were becoming increasingly desperate to bring them down? The gods' wrath was far from over. The hero twins had proven themselves time and time again, but this was different. This was their ultimate test, the moment they had been preparing for. The lords of Xibalba, furious at their repeated humiliation, refused to accept defeat. With a final act of defiance, they summoned the full might of the underworld, calling forth the deepest shadows and darkest horrors to crush the twins once and for all. It wasn't just a battle for survival, it was a battle for everything. The air grew thick with tension. The very atmosphere seemed to tremble as the darkness of Xibalba enveloped them. Light was swallowed whole, and the underworld itself seemed to conspire against the twins. Every step, every breath was a struggle, but the twins fought on. The clash between the hero twins and the forces of death was relentless, a dance of blade and shadow. Each strike was met with greater resistance. Each victory felt fleeting as the gods pressed harder. The twins were not just fighting for their lives. They were fighting for the future of the world above. The weight of their struggle grew heavier with every moment, the stakes higher than ever before. This was no ordinary fight. It was the final stand against the underworld itself, and the cost of failure was too great to imagine. The hero twins emerged from the depths of Xibalba victorious, but their triumph came at a heavy price. The shadows of the underworld still clung to them, their journey etched into their very souls. The darkness they had battled was vanquished, but its remnants lingered, scars of a fight that had nearly claimed them. With their father's spirit avenged and the lords of Xibalba defeated, the balance between life and death had been restored. The gods of the underworld, now silenced and humbled, slunk back to their dark domains, allowing the earth above to breathe freely once more. No longer mere sons of a fallen hero, the twins had ascended beyond mortal legend. They were now figures of eternal myth, etched into the fabric of time itself, beacons of the unending struggle between light and darkness. Their names would be whispered in awe, their deeds remembered in stories told by firelight. The world, once on the brink of chaos, began to heal, its pulse steady once again. And as the cycle of life continued, the hero twins stood as a reminder that even in the darkest of battles, victory could bring a new dawn. The adventure of the hero twins may have reached its conclusion, but their story was far from finished. Their triumph in the underworld did not go unnoticed by the gods. Hunahpu and Xbalanque had proven themselves not just as warriors, but as forces greater than mortal life. As a tribute to their bravery and cunning, the gods lifted them into the heavens. There, they became eternal, one taking the form of the sun, the other as the moon, their light forever illuminating the earth. Their glow wasn't just a reminder of the battles they had fought, but of the order they had restored, shining over the world they had saved. The tale of their journey, told through the pages of the Popol Vuh, continues to endure, carried by those who remember their incredible feats. Once just sons seeking vengeance for their father's death, the twins had transformed into something far more: guiding lights, eternal beings watching over the earth, casting their radiant glow for all to see. The hero twins became more than mere legends. They became the embodiment of resilience, their story living on through the stars. Long after their earthly deeds, they remain, lighting the path for those who gaze upwards, searching for strength, for hope, and for a reminder that even the greatest challenges can be conquered.